The San Antonio Spurs have quietly built something that should terrify every front office in the NBA. What's happening in San Antonio isn't just a promising young team finding its rhythm. It's a glimpse into basketball's future. Before his calf injury, rookie guard Dylan Harper was averaging 14.4 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 4.6 assists over his first 5 games. Those are impressive numbers for a 19-year-old, but they only scratch the surface of what his partnership with Victor Wembanyama represents. Wemby, meanwhile, is averaging 26.7 points, 13.7 rebounds, 3.2 assists, 1.3 steals, and a league-leading 4.7 blocks per game. Numbers that sound like a video game simulation more than real life. Together, they're creating something new, a synergy that forces defenses into situations they've never had to prepare for. Wembanyama praised Harper after their very first game together, saying, "He looks ready, very comfortable, already throwing me passes." That chemistry was obvious immediately. In the 138 minutes Harper has shared the floor with Wemby so far, the Spurs have been plus 20.8 points per 100 possessions in transition play, ranking in the 97th and 98th percentiles. That's not just good basketball. It's basketball played at a velocity and precision that breaks conventional defense. What makes this duo so devastating is how they manipulate different dimensions of the game simultaneously. Harper's advantage comes not from elite speed, but from a rare blend of strength, patience, and craft. At Rutgers, he finished 67.5% of his shots at the rim, with nearly half of his attempts coming in the paint. He plays with a herky-jerky rhythm that keeps defenders guessing. Every hesitation, every crossover is designed to set up the next move. He doesn't just react to defenders, he dictates their reactions. That control allows him to split pick and rolls, manipulate help defenders, and create angles that simply shouldn't exist for a rookie guard. His downhill pressure forces defenses to collapse, and that's exactly where Wembanyama becomes an unsolvable equation. The math for opposing defenses is brutal. You cannot help off Victor Wembanyama. He's shooting 52.7% from the field and leading the league in blocks by an absurd margin. The next closest shot blocker, Alex, is averaging just 2.2 per game. When Harper drives, defenders must choose between helping on his penetration or staying home on a 7 feet 4 inches lob target who operates somewhere between the paint and the stratosphere. Harper even admitted after his debut that he had to throw the ball higher, a lot higher, when connecting with Wemby, realizing quickly that his new teammate catches passes where other players physically can't reach. That's how drastically Wemby changes the geometry of the court. If defenders stay home to deny Wemby the lob, Harper has already shown the strength and touch to finish through contact. If they collapse, Wemby becomes an automatic scoring threat. It's a two-man action with no correct defensive answer. Their chemistry exploded during San Antonio's home opener against Brooklyn, when Harper and Wembanyama combined for 51 of the Spurs' 118 points in a win. Harper's stat line, **, 20 points, 8 assists, 2 steals, and 0 turnovers, **, looked like something from a seasoned floor general, not a teenager in his first week as a pro. His finishing in transition, his use of angles, and what teammates are already calling the best Euro step on the team stood out immediately. The 0 turnovers matter most. It highlights Harper's feel for the game, his ability to process chaos, make the right read, and maintain control no matter how fast the pace gets. When defenses collapse on him, he finds Wemby. When they stay home, he scores. It's that simple, and that devastating. This level of decision-making at 19, paired with a generational big who bends both offense and defense around his gravity, creates a system without precedent. The Harper-Wembanyama pick and roll may be the closest thing we've seen to basketball's theoretical peak. At Rutgers, Harper averaged 1.18 points per possession as a pick and roll ball handler, numbers that would rank top 5 among current NBA starters. Now, imagine that same efficiency next to a 7 feet 4 inches center who can catch lobs 12 feet in the air and shoot over any defender. Traditional pick and roll defense relies on one of two coverages: dropping the big man back to protect the rim or hedging aggressively to slow the ball handler. Against Harper and Wemby, neither strategy works. Drop coverage gives Harper all the space he needs to attack mismatches in rhythm, using his strength and creativity to finish or kick. Hedge coverage, on the other hand, leaves Wembanyama free in a 2-on-1 situation. One dribble, one pass, one dunk. There's no defensive scheme designed to handle both. What makes the pairing even scarier is how early they are in their development. Harper is still learning the nuances of NBA spacing, and Wembanyama, already dominating statistically, hasn't even reached his offensive peak. They're still calibrating timing, touch, and rhythm, yet their on-court numbers already project dominance. Every possession they share adds another layer of unpredictability. Harper manipulates defenders horizontally. Wembanyama dominates vertically. Together, they stretch the floor in every direction, forcing defenses to defend not just space, but altitude. The result is a new kind of basketball geometry, one where passing windows exist above the rim and drives open lanes that extend 3 dimensions deep. San Antonio didn't just draft talent. They built a partnership that challenges how the modern game is played. Harper and Wembanyama represent basketball's next great evolution. A guard who thinks 2 moves ahead paired with a big who plays above the laws of physics. And for every team trying to stop them, the problem is simple. You can't. Victor Wembanyama has quickly erased any lingering doubts about his health, and in doing so, he's reminded the league just how terrifying he can be. After recovering from the deep vein thrombosis that prematurely ended his previous season, the 21-year-old French star has averaged 21.3 points and 10.0 rebounds in just 21.6 minutes per game over his last 3 preseason contests. Those numbers alone would be impressive for a player still ramping up conditioning. But what's more striking is how he's doing it. Wembanyama isn't simply picking up where he left off. He's elevating areas of his game that were already elite. His shot blocking remains supernatural, with timing and instincts that distort what's possible on defense. Yet it's the subtle progress that stands out, the smoother footwork, the more deliberate pacing in his post moves, and the playmaking touch he's now flashing from the high post. These refinements suggest he's not even close to his ceiling. Meanwhile, Dylan Harper's emergence adds a generational complement to Wembanyama's evolving dominance. Harper's story begins long before his first NBA bucket. His father, Ron Harper, is a 5-time NBA champion who shared the floor with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, 2 of the greatest players to ever live. Growing up around that standard of excellence has clearly shaped Dylan's approach to the game. He carries himself with the poise of a seasoned veteran rather than a 19-year-old rookie. After his preseason debut, Harper said simply, just being back out on the court with them guys, getting the chemistry going before the season starts. It just felt good to play again. There was no panic, no wide-eyed excitement, just calm confidence. That composure, combined with elite skill, hints at why this duo might become historic. Defensively, the pairing of Harper and Wembanyama could redefine what a modern 2-man core looks like. Harper brings positional size at 6'4" 1/2 inch with a 6'10" 1/2 wingspan, giving him the versatility to guard multiple positions. His 1.4 steals per game at Rutgers underscored more than just quick hands. It showcased his anticipation and processing speed. He reads plays early and reacts decisively, using strength to absorb contact and contain drives. Then there's Wembanyama, whose defensive impact defies logic. He's already extended his streak of 95 consecutive games with at least 1 block, a testament to his consistency as much as his absurd physical gifts. His ability to guard the rim and switch onto smaller players makes him a defensive system unto himself. Together, they form a nightmare for opposing offenses, a guard who pressures the perimeter and a center who erases mistakes 30 feet from the rim. It's a combination that can anchor a championship-caliber defense for the next decade. The supporting context only amplifies the intrigue. The Spurs aren't asking Harper and Wembanyama to carry the franchise alone. De'Aaron Fox, freshly signed to a 4-year extension, provides veteran leadership, playoff experience, and dynamic shot creation. Stephon Castle, last season's Rookie of the Year, brings two-way versatility and high-level passing. Surrounded by this balance of experience and youth, the Harper-Wembanyama tandem can develop chemistry organically without being burdened by unrealistic expectations in the short term. And that's what should terrify the rest of the NBA. The timeline. Harper is 19. Wembanyama just turned 21. As impressive as they already are, the version we're seeing now is probably only 60% of what they'll become in their primes. Harper's jump shot remains a work in progress, but his mechanics suggest he'll evolve into an above-average three-point shooter once he learns to balance shot selection and spacing. Wembanyama, meanwhile, is still learning how to fully leverage his frame, how to impose physicality efficiently, and read defensive rotations at NBA speed. Over the next 3 to 5 years, as they log thousands of possessions together, their chemistry could become unguardable. Even Harper's calf strain, which sidelined him in early November, reinforces the Spurs' long-term vision. Rather than rushing him back, the organization has embraced patience, prioritizing health and development over short-term results. That organizational maturity is part of what makes this pairing so promising. San Antonio isn't chasing a quick playoff berth. It's building a dynasty foundation piece by piece. The historical parallels are impossible to ignore. We've seen legendary guard big duos before: Stockton and Malone, Bryant and O'Neal, Curry and Durant in their brief but dominant run. But Harper and Wembanyama feel different because they break positional molds. Wemby isn't just tall, he's coordinated, skilled, and fluid in ways that rewrite what a 7 feet 4 inches player can do. Harper isn't just a talented guard. He processes the game like someone who has studied greatness his entire life. And crucially, they're starting this journey at an age when most players are still figuring out how to survive in the league. Their learning curve isn't about basic adjustment. It's about evolution. Advanced analytics back up what the eye test screams. The Spurs have been plus 6.4 points per 100 possessions in transition when Harper's on the court, showing how his tempo and vision elevate everyone around him. Predictive models suggest that by their third year together, the Harper-Wembanyama pick and roll could generate plus 5.2 points per 100 possessions above league average, elite territory reserved for historically great duos. These aren't marginal gains. They're transformative edges that separate playoff teams from true title contenders. Perhaps the most fascinating aspect of their partnership lies in the spacing dynamic, which defies traditional basketball logic. Typically, having a 7 feet 4 inches center would clog the lane, limiting driving opportunities for a guard who thrives attacking the rim. Instead, the opposite happens. Defenses are so terrified of Wembanyama as both a lob threat and a credible perimeter shooter that they can't collapse into the paint without giving up open looks elsewhere. That gravitational pull opens lanes for Harper to operate with more freedom than most rookie guards could dream of. Every time he attacks, defenders must make an impossible choice: help on the drive and leave Wembanyama unguarded, or stay attached to the French phenom and watch Harper score at will. San Antonio has built something rare, a partnership between two players who stretch the game in every direction, vertically, horizontally, and conceptually. Harper manipulates the floor with pace, angles, and intelligence. Wembanyama distorts it with reach, timing, and sheer dominance. Individually, they're already special. Together, they're redefining what's possible. And if this is only the beginning, the rest of the NBA might be looking at the blueprint for its next great dynasty.